I want to talk about WrestleMania against this guy right here.
Oh man,
because I think there's a lot of people out there that being able to because you're a former champion, you've had the strap around the waist, but there's a lot of people I believe that the opportunity to wrestle in a WrestleMania against the Undertaker would trump even having a belt. And, but
by
I mean,
far.
what was that like for you? What did that mean to Mark Henry to say, I was one of the guys that got to step in the ring with the Undertaker for WrestleMania?
Well, before you get to WrestleMania, there was a build-up. There was about a 2-year process of me working with him. We had like eulogies and all the TV stuff, but I worked on the house shows, and I had never had a 20-minute match on TV or at a house show. And this is like leading up until WrestleMania 2020, the WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, WrestleMania 20.
And 2 years before us in Chicago. So that was a 2-year period where I would work with him on house shows. I would work with him in Europe. I would work, and I never got to do that before. And the level of confidence that I had, I could wrestle anybody now after being there with him, because he taught me how to create space. I had wrestled already 8 years, and I still was learning.
What does that mean? What does that mean, creating space like that?
Well, letting some of the stuff that you do, let it mean something. A lot of times, especially in this day and age, and it goes back to storytelling too. Like, it was hard for me to work with people. There wasn't a long list of people that could get actual heat on me. Mark could. But what happens when you get Undertaker down, well, they want to chug right into it because I got him down. And it was just the ability to, okay, let that breathe just a little bit. I'm not talking about turn to the fans and ask for that. That's what everybody does now, right? They stay focused on the crowd and asking for that. It's like, boom, give me something big. Hold me up in that bear hug for a while, and then drop me or whatever it is, and then you're almost like I'm a piece of meat, and you're the great white shark, or I'm a wounded seal, right?
Yeah.
Let me sell what you've done. Let me sell what you've done to me already, and you are watching me helpless. And now it's just a matter of time before you go in for that final bite or
that
whatever.
allows the crowd to soak that up too.
Yes,
and
let the crowd get.
One of the greatest lessons that I learned from him was when I say creating space, and he would say, listen, one, you want to win. So every time you do something to me, try to cover me. And then he'd kick out.
Yeah.
And then he was like, don't come grab me right away. He said, measure me. He back up about 6 feet. He's like, because if you're this close, you should get me. If there's about 3 paces in between, then you have reason to just to stand there and turn around. And he wouldn't look at me. He would sell to a place where he turned, and then I would be there. And I learned how to close the distance. So people don't understand, like the elite guys get that because they in the ring with him, or they in the ring with Shawn Michaels, or they in the ring with Triple H. But the guys that don't, there's a reason why you main event, and it's the little bitty things. And I was able to learn the little bitty things from probably the best guy that ever did it. He would probably not put himself as the best guy, like maybe Andre or Hogan or somebody. Okay, maybe not Hogan, but he would put himself beneath people that were great. because of who he is as a man. But I'm going to say that he's the best because, one, I know everybody else. All the other elite guys are like, bro, nobody was above Taker. Every Mount Rushmore got him on it.
Yeah.
So it's got to be right. If it's on everybody's,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My ass ain't never gonna be on a Mount Rushmore. Eating.
That's my Mount Rushmore right there. Now,
You know, me and you.
That's a whole nother podcast. We're talking about eating.
Hey, me and Yoko would be number one.
Yeah.
You know, but that's a whole nother story.
It was basically focusing, and what most people don't do in this day and age, and even back then, it was a big disconnect. Are the transition stuff? Mm-hmm. What you do between the transitions of the big moves, that's the stuff. And people don't know what they're seeing, but they know there's a difference. And when he's talking about, I never looked at him. What I'm trying to do, I've just taken a big slam, or I've taken a clothesline, or I've taken something from him. What I never tried not to do until the very end, when it was time for me to do a setup or something, is when I was selling, is sell on the move. Like he has kicked the shit out of me for the last 10 minutes. And what I'm trying to do is get away from him and get myself up.
Yeah.
And pull myself up. And then right as I'm almost up, that's what he's talking about, closing the space. Wham. He hits me, down I go, and I got to start the whole process over. He's in total command. He's in total charge. And now you're watching me. And now the audience is picking up on it. Like, that's when you start getting that boom, boom, Taker. That's when they start to feel like, man, we can help him. We can help him get it. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier, talking about we got off of it, and I wanted to stay on it a little longer. Suspending reality. We go out of our way now to tell everybody what we do is strictly entertainment. My philosophy when I worked was to suspend people's sense of reality. I wanted them to be invested so much in my match that they thought it was legit. Everything was legit. And you can do that, and you do it by telling stories and making them invested in it. So that's the whole process that he's talking about, is him, boom, when it's his turn, it's his time to get his heat, wham, and me dragging myself across the ring and grabbing the second rope, and I'm pulling myself up, and they're like, man, Taker, all he's got to do is get to his feet. If he gets to his feet.
And you know why I'm laughing? Because as he's saying that, I can see myself take a step, take another step.
Closing that
and
space.
Every time that I took a step, the crowd was like, what? Look out, look out, look out. It got louder and louder. And then when I got there, he knew I was there because he could hear it.
Yeah.
He didn't have to see. He could have been blind. And he would turn right into it, bang, back in the bad hood, shake him. And then I would get him to where he went down to one knee, and I just muscle him down and try to cover him. He'd kick out, God damn it. And then I back up and give him 6 feet. But see, the pacing, and he used to do this.
I got that from Flair.
Come here, but stay back.
Yeah.
It's like, I want you to keep coming. I want you to keep coming, but I want you to take your time in doing it.
Yeah.
Keep coming at me.
That year, the year before we wrestled, he was like, if you're not coming to me, I can't tell you what's next. And that stuck with me. I remember leaving going, oh, shit. I get it. And it was like every week was a learning process for a year. So I knew when we led up until WrestleMania, that was my title. It was never going to get, I didn't think I was ever going to win a title at that point anyway.
Yeah.
I just knew that, wow, this is my shining moment. It's like I saw the documentary on A&E with Mick Foley, and Mick is tough. I mean, when I say tough, I don't mean like MMA fighter tough. I mean,
The ability to take
to
pain and
absorb
punishment.
and pain. I don't know how he did it. I just, with what his physical tools he had, I don't know how he could do that. And he said that he would never be who he is without him. I'm dead straight honest that I would have never been the version of me without the matches I had with him, because I worked with everybody else after like I was working with him. And that was, you talk about the gifts that he gave to the business don't end with just all of the matches he had and all of the money he made and all of the carrying the company. It was like the legacy of the people that came, everybody that was in the street, everybody that worked with him, that got shine. If you was able to make him sell, it legitimized you. Hurricane, stand back, and he have throw his cape, and he would grab Taker in the choke, and Taker would look at him and knock his hand down and choke slam him, bang. It legitimized Hurricane as a character.
Yeah.
Because he was able to stand there and actually put his hands on him. Those are gifts. As I hear all these stories about Andre and what Andre did for other wrestlers when he couldn't work no more. Like, that's what his last 5 years of his life was, giving life to other wrestlers, even if he didn't want to do it. Because I heard most of the time he didn't want to do it. He didn't think they were deserving.
No.
Vince picked who he did rather than him picking.
Yeah.
Mark picked me. Vince didn't pick me.
Did you go to the higher ups and say, this is a guy that I want to?
I said, yeah, because it was hard for me to find opponents. That character was built so strong.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't kill it. So trying to find legitimate opponents, well, he's the world's strongest man. Let me give it a whirl. And believe me, they had fed me early on. They had fed me some people that I was like, this guy can move. He can do some things. Let me take him.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're, go for it. And then obviously I was really proud of our match that we ended up with at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good casket match. It was
the only casket match in WrestleMania history as well.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that, and to be, that's kind of a cool thing to say that you're a part of.
Hey man, to get a WrestleMania main event paycheck, nice too. It was like, thank you, Jesus.